Yo, what's happening, everybody? It is your boy, Erskmac, the Mad Scientist, and this is the Orange Phoenix Show. Do not forget to hit that like and subscribe button and that notification bell. That way you can get notified on all of our things, whether it's live or recorded. This week in pro wrestling has been unprecedented, mainly on the AEW and Impact Wrestling front. But we're going to talk about Impact Wrestling first, because I have promised you guys that every single week I will be covering Impact Wrestling content. And this week on Impact Wrestling for Thursday night, I know I'm 2 days late, but I'm telling you right now, it has been one of the best shows thus far. Whereas the main event is Will Ospreay and the walking weapon, Josh Alexander. Look, every single week, to me, it feels like Impact Wrestling is getting better and better, and they're working their way towards their official TNA pay-per-view in January, Hard to Kill 2024. That was a 20-minute, classic. I watched that match twice. And something about Josh Alexander reminds me of Kurt Angle, obviously, with the headgear. And I looked up on what's going on with the headgear because he had a partially severed ear. And when he got his ear reattached, he just kept his headgear on. So, learning more and more about Josh Alexander. I mean, he came up in a losing effort. That's really not a bad thing, honestly. Will Ospreay has tremendous momentum. This man has a 2023 for your ass. You understand? I feel like this man should be PWI's number one. The amount of things that he's accomplished over 2023 says it all. It ain't Kenny Omega. It's not Chris Jericho. It's not Roman Reigns. It is Will Ospreay. And Will Ospreay rightfully deserves that number one spot on PWI. Even though, obviously it's opinion and stuff like that, Will Ospreay rightfully deserves that. I mean, no question about that. Speaking of Will Ospreay, WWE has interest in Will Ospreay as well as AEW, naturally, as well as Impact Wrestling. Naturally, he is one of the potentially hottest future free agents, coming out. You know what I'm saying? It's from the male standpoint. But also keep in mind that his contract does not end until 2024, early 2024, February, if I'm not mistaken. Now, that also leads into this big signing tonight at AEW's Full Gear. Is it Will Ospreay? Did TK buy out that contract and started a new contract with Will Ospreay? Only time will tell. But a lot of people are speculating that it's really Mercedes Moné that is the big signing. But according to Fight for Select and according to the backstage in the locker room, that's not really the case. At least not yet. But looking into it, I'm like 85% sure that is Mercedes Moné. All I know is this big signing that is advertised for Full Gear, it better deliver, because it's been a couple times that TK has said, "Hey, I got a big announcement." And once he has this big announcement, it isn't that big of an announcement. Like a few weeks ago, he announced that tickets will go on sale December 1st for Wembley Stadium. As much as a big announcement at Wembley Stadium is, it's not really that huge announcement. You can advertise that at the bottom. It's one of them situations where it was better off as an email. You know what I'm saying? Because tickets are going to get bought for Wembley Stadium. You know what I'm saying? Like that particular event broke a pro wrestling record. So people are going to buy that in droves. So he shouldn't even have to worry about that. But I understand his level of thinking, because you have to advertise. Social media has been their grace, really, because you go on Twitter, you go on Facebook, you go on Instagram, you go on YouTube. It's all social media advertisement for the most part when it comes down to AEW. So I can't really fault him for that, 100%, because he's just doing what he has to do as far as the advertising is concerned. So I'm with him on that. But my two guesses really is Will Ospreay or Mercedes Moné. Now, until last night. So we had AEW Collision and we had AEW Rampage, and right after that they had the Ring of Honor tapings. At the Ring of Honor tapings, no other than Ronda Rousey shows up as the tag team partner for Marina Shafir to go up against Athena and Billie Stark. Now, for you guys that may not know, Ronda Rousey has been in the independent scene for the past, couple months or so. And, videos and clips of her, like, being in these wrestling matches and stuff like that, having the time of her life. And she even tweeted that she loves it. And this is a Ronda Rousey that we really want to see, to go up against this talent that do not have handcuffs on them. So she just allowed to do what she wants to do in the ring at a safe space. And I think this is a better environment for her. I know WWE is viewed as the big time and all this other stuff, but also keep in mind, as a professional wrestler or as a superstar, you do have certain handcuffs on you, and it's more story driven than anything else. Like, you're still going to do your move sets. You're just not going to do it every single week. And that's not necessarily a bad thing either, because that leads to longevity in your professional wrestling career. The indies, Impact Wrestling, AEW, yes, there are stories that are being told, but there's less of a handcuff get put on you because they trust you in telling the story yourself. So I'm with her on that 100%. Ronda may be that big signing everyone's talking about. Only time will tell. But my top three is Mercedes Moné, number 1, Will Ospreay, number 2, Ronda Rousey, number 3. It has to be one of those three. It has to be someone big in order for it to make an impact. No pun intended. But back to Impact Wrestling, Will Ospreay and Josh Alexander, man. They put on the clinic 20 minutes. I really, really enjoyed this main event. One of the main reasons why I tuned in, like, with my eyes open and my ears open, just watching and listening and just ingesting everything that they had to offer, because Will Ospreay has been in Impact Wrestling, for quite some time. Not consistently, but lately he has been in Impact Wrestling and showcasing what he can do, and also showcasing what the people across from him can do. Now, the other thing I said last week is that I'm gonna look into some more Jordynne Grace. And I was so happy to see Jordynne Grace on this show this week, tagging with Bully Ray, or going against Steve Maclin and Killing King. And if you really, really pay attention, Bully and Maclin only been in the ring just a small amount of time. It was really the women that was being showcased here. Like, when Jordynne Grace was going up against Killing King and Maclin in the ring, Bully didn't step in. Now, I do understand that they was telling the story here, because it been some times that Jordynne Grace and Bully was across the ring from each other, and they're playing off of that little bit of a story, but also it works two ways, because you're showcasing what Jordynne Grace and King can do, and Bully comes in where it made sense, where he clotheslined and he stepped back out the ring and let Jordynne do her thing. And Jordynne is going to challenge Trinity for the Knockouts Women's Championship at Hard to Kill. So, looking at it with this long-term storytelling, because you got this month, you got next month, and then you got Hard to Kill, I feel like what Jordynne is doing, I love her music, I love her theme music, I love her ring. Hey guys, I know you all are enjoying the show, but check it out. I have to let you know, do not forget to hit that like and subscribe button and that notification bell, because if you hit that notification bell, you definitely get notified on anything that we do, whether it's live or recorded. And do not forget to hit that like button. Please hit that like button, because the more likes we get, the more views we get. The more views we get, the more subscribers we get, and our community continue to grow, so we can continue to have these conversations with each other and you guys. And also, whatever we do not cover in our YouTube channel, we definitely cover in our Orange Phoenix magazine. Our Orange Phoenix magazine is an online digital monthly magazine that's on our Patreon for only $5 a month. That's it. $5 a month. It's in the description below. Just click on that link, and without any further ado, we're gonna go right back into our show. Moveset, I know I'm barely scratching the surface when it comes to her. I'm gonna go back and watch some past tapes on Jordynne Grace, but honestly, I know there's more women out there in Impact Wrestling, but Jordynne Grace is my favorite. She has like a certain look, and just by looking at her, I know WWE is salivating. I know that what they're doing, because she has that certain look that WWE would want, and Jordynne Grace should say no. I feel like she should say no. I know the money is there, is there, but I feel like she should say no. With her husband, I feel like, again, AEW fumbled the bag with that, and I feel like AEW should pick them up. But with TNA coming back officially, I feel like Impact Wrestling will continue to grow and will continue to be bigger, which means there will be bigger contracts that's coming. And then now, maybe Impact Wrestling will grow the right way, naturally and organically, versus how TNA grew. I mean, if you really think about it, TNA grew organically up until to a certain point where Eric Bischoff and Hulk Hogan end up showing their faces, and Vince Russo, even though it was Vince Russo come up with the name of TNA, but don't want to jump back into that story, but this is a different regime. And if you got people like Bully Ray there and Tommy Dreamer there, then full well it is in good hands as far as how Impact Wrestling is going to grow, because it's going to do it naturally. But my two favorite things coming out of Impact Wrestling this week is definitely Jordynne Grace, and it's definitely Will Ospreay and Josh Alexander. Now, as far as an honorable mention, I would definitely say Trinity and Sonny Kiss, because Sonny Kiss has been kind of like teetering a little bit, well, a lot in AEW. She's been showcased here and there in AEW, and I know when she went over to Ring of Honor, she was part of this trios group, and actually a bigger group, and she wasn't showcased as much. And then obviously her contract, expired, and Impact Wrestling picked her up. So it's going to be interesting to see what Sonny Kiss is going to be able to do at Impact Wrestling. She did have a match against Trinity for the Knockout Women's Championship. She did come up short, and it was more placating to the crowd. Really, it was more like a fanfare deal versus like a pro wrestling match. But there's nothing wrong with that. Honestly, Trinity comes out on top. She continues to have momentum going in. I believe she's still going to be the Knockouts Women Champion at the end of the year. Now, this what makes it interesting is that Jordynne Grace and Trinity going against each other for that TNA Knockouts Women Championship. That's going to be interesting because Trinity has been a champion for quite some time. So does that mean Jordynne becomes the new champion, or does Trinity retain, or is there a third person involved that gets in the match that further tells a story between Jordynne Grace and whoever? That remains to be seen. I believe that with this long-term storytelling, that's where it might lead. As much as I want to see Jordynne Grace have that belt around her waist, I think, it's just my estimation, I think that Trinity may retain due to some outside sources. Maybe a heel turn. Maybe we'll see that. Maybe Trinity will have a faction. I'm not sure. I'm just speculating. Don't look too much into that. Now, going into AEW Full Gear, there's a lot of things at play. You got the big contract signing that Tony Khan is advertising, and also you got MJF and Switchblade Jay White. Switchblade Jay White and MJF. I think MJF will come out on top, considering the fact that he is tagged with Samoa Joe at the opening show, at the pre-show, and a deal's a deal. You made a deal with the devil. They keep playing on that. It's not Samoa Joe. He's not the devil. Let's keep that out of here. But with Samoa Joe stalking MJF, saying, hey, I'll be your tag partner, but you got to broker your part of the deal and be my opponent for that belt. That is if you get by Jay White. But it also tells me that Jay White will come up short tonight at AEW Full Gear, because I feel like there's a bigger story that's being told with Samoa Joe and MJF. So we got to see what happens with that. So that's really the main event, and really who the devil truly is. Will the devil get revealed tonight? Is it Adam Cole, baby? Is it Roderick Strong? Is it Britt Baker? Britt Baker says, no, it's not me. Some people saying that it's CM Punk, because honestly, if that is CM Punk, that is the biggest work in pro wrestling history, because you had everybody by the neck. Had people talking about it, had people talking ill about CM Punk, had people, just crapping on him. If it's indeed CM Punk, if this was just a ruse by TK, Jack Perry, and Tony Khan, oh, wow, they got him. Now, if you really think about it, if if it is CM Punk, you can no longer trust like the dirt sheets because they really, truly don't know. And that's a great thing because I think in the IWC, a lot of people want to be the first to know. They want to be the first to break the story. They want to be the first person to say, hey, I found this out. You should believe me. You should worship me. That's what you should do. And I feel like if it is Punk, this actually is a Thanos. This actually resets things to the beginning. That resets things to you cannot trust what dirt sheets say. You cannot trust what the rumors say. You got to sit your ass down and watch the show and like everybody else does. So Dave Meltzer, Sean Ross, Sal. Now you can't trust what they say because now it's just up in the air. It's jump ball. So, but for AEW Collision to take a little hit with CM Punk not being there, that is a gamble. I will say that. But Warner Brothers and Discovery loves what AEW Collision is doing, love what AEW Dynamite is doing, as far as their ratings, as far as the revenue that they're putting in, and the profits that they're making. So I think the rating part is more of a fan thing because when they go head to head with WWE or NXT or whatever, it is one of those things that we get really, really hype about because we know both of these companies bring the best out of each other. But now they should not overlook TNA Impact at this point because now it's steadily growing. Let's not forget that Mickie James was the Impact Knockouts Women's Champion at a point in time, and she showed up with that belt at Royal Rumble, and they actually announced who she was and what she represented. So Impact is open to working with other companies. I mean, honestly, AEW, New Japan Pro Wrestling are more attainable if that makes sense. But WWE definitely did that, and I feel like they can do it again. But again, with my idea, like I had with the last show, I feel like that if they have a big World Cup type of tournament for pro wrestling, Impact Wrestling should definitely be in the conversation. Speaking of tournaments, Tony Khan announced a Continental Classic where in big cities you got 12 pro wrestlers from AEW going one-on-one where there will be a definitive winner in a round robin style tournament. Now TK is the king of tournaments when it comes to pro wrestling, but one of the rules that came out over the past few days is that there will be no, all caps, no outside interference. This is one-on-one. You will have a winner and you will have a loser in the middle of the ring. No monkey business. So AEW has their own G1 Classic, and we get to see that every single week in these big cities. So now there should be some type of award for the winner for the Continental Classic. I don't know what that award may be, whether it's like a giant trophy or like just the first name placard on that trophy, that kind of thing. But I feel like Tony Khan has a gem here in the Continental Classic. I feel like this is where he's at with it. And I feel like every single year it will be bigger than what it is than just 12. Maybe you bring some Impact Wrestling people in there. Maybe you bring some New Japan Pro Wrestling people in there and you have those one-on-one matches. But with this Continental Classic, you should also have a Women's Continental Classic as well. That way, all of these women get showcased in this tournament one-on-one with no outside interference. But only time will tell. I cannot wait for the Continental Classic. But Impact Wrestling this week was by far, to me, so far, one of the best Impact Wrestling live shows I've seen. As far as like a regular show as concerned, because I'm just back jumping on the TNA Impact Wrestling train. So y'all bear with me, but just know I'm doing what I'm doing as promised. Every single week, Impact Wrestling coverage, as well as other wrestling shows, but Impact mostly because they deserve all the love and all the gratitude and everything else in between. Check it. That is my time. Go ahead and check out AEW Full Gear tonight. Go ahead and purchase on Bleacher Report. Obviously it's $50. And there's going to be more announcements coming, and you may see some pay-per-views on HBO Max. Who knows? We'll see. But $50, go ahead and check out AEW Full Gear, because every single time AEW have a pay-per-view, it delivers every single time, because they know you spent $50 on it, and they will not make you feel like you wasted your money. But go ahead and check out AEW Full Gear. I'm going to check it out myself. So until next time, peace.